Kyriakos Voyajakis was tragically killed by a repeat violent offender who is out on bail.
The repeat offender was arrested Sunday after a brutal attack.
The suspect in the attack has an extensive violent criminal history.
But outraging many is the fact that he was out on bail at the time.
At a certain point, do you think just, letting these people revolving door, is it putting the public safety at risk, do you think?
Oh, it absolutely is putting the public safety at risk. Here's the proof.
We've all heard the stories. Random violent offenders released from custody only to commit more violence. Part of a trend or a pattern in this country of tragic miscarriages of justice happening from coast to coast. But it hits a little different when it happens in your own backyard. I'm standing here at Lewis Park in Courtenay, BC, a popular gathering place for residents of the Comox Valley. Kids play in the water park. Seniors go to classes at the nearby community center, and apparently repeat violent offenders prey on an unsuspecting public, or at least that's the story of Serge Melancon, who came to Lewis Park with his wife, a 64-year-old double amputee, to use a handicap shower during their recent road trip vacation. But as Serge was about to leave and drive away, there was a knock on his window. Here's what happened next.
When I finally put it in drive, somebody knocked on my window, so I still had my foot on the brakes. So I looked, and well presented, and there was no issues with what I see. So I put my window down and said, "Can I help you?" He said, "Yes, I need your phone to call 911. I said, "Well, no, I won't give you my phone. I call 911, no problem." So dial the number, the answer. I said, "Can I get, what is it for?" He said, "Well, somebody is overdosing." I said, "Okay, so I need an ambulance." And as I said the word ambulance, he opened the door, step in, and we were on.
The man opened the door to Serge's vehicle and began attacking him, punching him repeatedly in the face. The assault was so vicious, so unexpected, Serge was hardly able to fight back, leaving him with sustained injuries to his face.
Like, how many times do you think you got hit?
Oh, I got it probably a dozen times. Fortunately, because it's such a tight area, he didn't have the chance to really put a lot of powers behind his fist, but it was still hitting right. And I realized I was strapped, and after a little bit of a scuffle, I decided I have a big box beside me, and I decided to lay on it to extricate myself backing out of it. And as I did that, he came in more with me, and that's when he met my wife.
Serge's wife, Deirdre, who is permanently in a wheelchair, watched in horror as the man attacked her husband right beside her in their own vehicle. But instead of being frozen in terror, she decided to act, looking around for anything she could use as a weapon to defend her husband's life.
She had a huge cup, a plastic cup in her hand, and she just started hitting him, and the handle broke. So she grabbed a 12-inch tabletop metal fan that we have in there, grabbed it and started hitting him, and she went to town on him pretty hard.
I just undid my seatbelt and got down on my knees and started hitting him with my coffee cup. And he grabbed it and broke the handle, and that's when I used the fan.
This is a fierce woman. She'll tackle anything, anytime.
Sounds like the guy got more than he bargained for out of...
Yeah. And because she was hitting him pretty hard and making marks, he backed out. But on his way out, decided to grab my legs and pull me out of the van to get me away from her. I don't blame him for that. So he pulled my leg out, and he really wrecked my knee when he did that. And he grabbed me, but then he threw me against the van, dented the fender. And when that happened, I went down, and I decided to stay down, even though I wanted to get up and go at it. I just stayed down. And then the strangest thing happened. I hit the ground, and I looked, watching his feet, waiting for them to come at me. Nothing. He just stopped and back a couple of steps. Then I look up for what I could see. He obviously saw my phone on the ground and grabbed my phone and just casually walked away.
As Serge laid on the ground, a crowd began to gather. The police arrived on the scene and later identified the attacker as Melvin Tagay, a trained boxer. Unsurprisingly, Serge would also find out from the police that the attacker was already known to them. In other words, a repeat violent offender with an extensive criminal past.
How are the police to deal with after the attack, and what have they told you, or what did they tell you?
Well, right off, while I was still on the ground, they says, yeah, we got him. He's in our custody. It's all done. We know him very well. And my first thought when he said that, then why weren't you following him? Because if you know he's going to snap, because that's what they call it, they say he snaps. Well, if he's going to snap, you should have somebody attached to his hip, as far as I'm concerned. But of course,
he should probably be incarcerated if they know he's.
If he's a danger to society, he should be gone, period.
Now, since this attack, obviously, who this individual was and some of their histories come to light, do you think he should have been allowed to be just walking around freely through Courtenay?
If he was too dangerous, apparently this is his 5th time, well, maybe that's the 3 strikes you're out law should be involved with that. If prison is the only way they can put him in order to protect society, so be it.
This is his 5th attempt. It shouldn't have happened. He shouldn't have been able to do it 5 times. And again, it's a revolving door.
Did you guys ever think something like this was going to happen to you? Like this?
You hear about those, and they said, poor fellow or poor woman, and then you're just on with your day. Right?
You wouldn't expect it at a park with kids.
Unfortunately, the story of Serge and Deidre is one that is all too common in both big cities and small towns right across Canada, and there's a reason for it. Back in 2019, the Liberal government's Bill C-75 became law. This forced judges in Canada to consider bail at the earliest opportunity and with the least onerous conditions, while Bill C-5, which followed shortly thereafter, removed many mandatory minimum penalties and expanded conditional sentencing, allowing more violent criminals out of jail into house arrest and back onto the streets to terrorize the public. The effect of these catch and release laws, especially when combined with some questionable judicial appointments, was easy to predict, and is a large reason why we are now seeing such chaos in our streets committed by just a small handful of people. And while Mark Carney promised bail reform during the last election, so far his government has taken no action, resulting in frustration from frontline police officers and ongoing abuse of the public at large. Now, Serge spent the night in hospital and, despite his substantial injuries, will be okay, minus some pretty significant dental bills. But if the case of Serge and Deidre proves anything, it's that no town, no matter the size, is safe from violent criminals when they are emboldened by weak laws and politicians unwilling to do anything about it.